Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I really don't want to continue doing this, you know. I've already put on myself a self-imposed ban on Twitter. I've already I've already made videos. We've already put our points across. But I don't want to continue doing this because it's a waste of my time. And I do believe, as the Quran states, that reconciliation is best. I do believe in that. And I believe, like I mentioned in the prior video, that al-Muslim lil-Muslim kal-jasad al-wahid, or kal-bunyan, that the Muslim to another Muslim is like a building. يشد بعضه بعضا. This is the methodology that people know us for. And you're saying, oh, well, you're acting like a bully. Brother, sorry, with all due respect, you start the initial agitation. You start the initial provocation. You start the initial antagonism. And then you say, well, you're a bully. I remember one time, someone on Instagram, he said to me, Muhammad Hijab really needs to decide. Muhammad Hijab really needs to decide whether he wants to be a thug or whether he wants to be an academic. And I replied, I said, I'm going to decide to be a thug with the thugs and an academic with the academics. And this is my reply to you. I don't mind if people call me a bully, I'm a bully with the bullies. I'm a bully with the bullies, brother. And I'm going to continue showing people that show me energy and my community energy, a bad attitude, the bad attitude that they show others. You said, well, you dedicated a whole channel to the SP. That's because they dedicated their whole lives on me. And not just me. My friends and companions and people in the Dawah. So no doubt about it, bro. It's al-jaza'u min jins al-amal. It's kama tudinu tudan. Or as you are dealt with the way you deal with others. I'm sure that you've come across this kind of thing. And there is a world of difference. I think people already know, and people are not oblivious to the fact that you look at Ali Dawah's portfolio, look at my portfolio, look at any of the people that you've, not anyone, but most of the people that you've attacked, look at their portfolios. Look at their diversified portfolio. You can't say that the majority of their work is against Muslim people. You cannot say that. When people think Muhammad Hijab, what do they think of? I'm going to ask you and you answer. I'm not going to tell you. When people think Ali Dawah, what do they think of, bro? What videos do they think of? Sajid Lipham? Yeah, sorry, no. But when people think Sajid Lipham, yeah, they think Yaqeen, you attacked Yaqeen, yeah, you attacked Amr Sulaiman, yeah, you attacked Mufti Menk, you attacked, Noman Ali Khan, you attacked Muhammad Hijab. That's what people think. You're hanging off the coattails of other Muslim people who are, for the most part, have more clout than you. That's your job. That's your primary job. And then you have these other videos which don't get that much traction aside from that. You now are monetizing some of your work. Your institute basically is, you've got an Arabic institute, or I don't know what you're doing. So effectively, you are taking this is your zero-sum game approach in game theory and economics. Zero-sum game, not win-win, but zero-sum game. You go and you take from others, and then you try and use it for yourself. You basically feed your family with the hard work of other Muslim people that you're coattailing off. That's you. You can't compare, other people who are not doing that with you. That's what you're doing. Now, I'm not even against, in principle, the fact that you attacked Ali Dawah, or not attacked, but that you publicly tried to correct him. I do believe that he deserved a public correction, no problem. You can publicly correct Ali Dawah, you can publicly correct me, you can publicly correct anyone you want. But I'm upset about the fact that you don't have a methodological or ideological problem with us. And you didn't decide, like the S-Pubs do, they think we're an innovator, so they do Hajr of the Mubtada, they do boycotting of the innovator. You block me from WhatsApp, you block others from WhatsApp, you don't even speak to Ali Dawah privately, you don't follow the protocol. Maybe if you spoke to him privately, you could have got him, convinced him to take the video down, you could have influenced his behavior. You didn't even try and do that. You went straight for the jugular, as it were, and you attacked him. You employed the game theory zero-sum game approach, and you didn't even stick to the point. You started mentioning superfluous issues which didn't relate to the debate itself. That's number one. Number two, you conceded ground to the enemies of Islam. And I already mentioned on Twitter, and I'll mention again, the qawl of Harun alayhi salam in the Quran, وَلَا تُشْمِتْ بِيَ الْأَعْدَاءَ وَلَا تَجْعَلْنِي مَعَ الْقَوْمِ الظَّالِمِينَ. Do not make the enemy rejoice over me, and do not make me among the oppressive people. You did both. You did both. Now the enemy is doing istidlal with you, bro. And unfortunately, you are doing istidlal with the enemy. It's almost as if there is a tacit collusion between you two. It's surreal. It is surreal. You mentioned in the previous video that, the enemies of Islam are saying that Muhammad Hijab is doing their job for them. You know, who cares what the enemies of Islam are saying? Who cares what the enemies of Islam are saying? Why are you doing istidlal with them? It's the same thing. Your friend Abdurrahman, who came on Twitter speaking with very respectful tone to this guy, David Wood, the one who ripped up the Quran, the one who swore at the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, done Sabb bin Nabi. You say, I appreciate where you're coming from, Dr. Wood. But with Ali Dawah, you don't ever show him that much respect. These are the problems, brother. It's not the fact that you publicly came out and tried to correct some of Ali Dawah's behavior or some of his issues, or the fact even that he should be doing any of these debates in the first place. All of these things are well noted, yes? And Ali Dawah is aware of those criticisms, and he's been told those things from his closest compatriots. He's been told those things from people closest to him. Yeah, like I said, there is internal screening programs. And by the way, Ali Dawah is not my student. He's never been my student, and quite frankly, probably never will be, because I have an egalitarian relationship with him, an equal relationship with him. Yeah, we're friends. That's it. Any information that he may be getting from me is done over on a plane, on a train. You know, we might be doing it in a car, driving. It's informal. He's attended 2 or 3, maybe 4 of the sessions of a Londoner out of a possible 30 that we've done altogether, 25 or something. He has not been a student of mine at all. I've never gone through an entire book with him, anything, nothing like that. So Ali Dawah is not my student. And it's wrong, that was an impropriety on your behalf to refer to him as such, just because he's copying some few catchphrases of mine. Just because he's copying a few he's putting the Timex edition of the Rolex. Yeah. But it doesn't mean that he's my student. So he's a good friend of mine, one of my best friends in life. You know, he's an equal to me. I don't see him as a student. I don't have a hierarchical relationship with him. That doesn't mean I don't information share. It doesn't mean that we don't have casual conversations. But it's not formal, and it's not institutional, and it's not that kind of relationship. Now, having said that, you know, going back to the point, and this is the point I mentioned in the previous discussion. The things, and this is another point, you did not. The things that you attack Ali Dawah for in that video, in addition to conceding ground to the enemy of Islam, disparity in the way that you're dealing with the enemy of Islam compared to the way you're dealing with the Muslims, which is exactly against the ayah. يا أيها الذين آمنوا من يرتد منكم عن دينه فسوف يأتي الله بقوم يحبهم ويحبونه أذلة على المؤمنين أعزة على الكافرين يجاهدون في سبيل الله ولا يخافون لومة لائم. You know, the ayah which says that you have to be humble with the believers and stern with the disbelievers, mighty with them. You done the opposite. It's not ruhamat bainahum. You done ruhamat with the disbelievers, aizat with the, as the other ayah. You are aziz with Ali Dawah, and you are not really that comparatively with the enemy. That's what concerns everyone here, brother. Shamsi, he made a video, he was lambasting Ali Dawah, but I saw sincerity in his eyes in that particular video, despite my disagreement with him. I believe that he actually believed what he was saying. What's her name? Milahan made a video, but he attacked her first. So if we're going to speak the truth, وَإِذَا قُلْتُمْ فَأَعْدِلُوا وَإِنْ كَانَ ذَا قُرْبَى, as the Quran states, if you're going to speak, then speak the truth, and even if it's someone close to you. He attacked her first, and on a very similar point. So she had this card, and she attacked him back. So جزاء وجزاء وسيئة سيئة مثلها. So it comes from that bab. We have to be honest and just, and the recompense of a sin is a sin like it. In other words, she did to him what he did to her, exactly like for like, but her one was more scolding, I would say. It was not exactly the same. She shouldn't have done that, by the way. I don't agree that she should do that and that people should do that, because conceding ground to the enemy of Islam is problematic. Furthermore, brother Abdurrahman, sorry, if this is your debut into the Dawah, like coming into the Dawah, and take someone like Ali Dawah for 9 years or whatever, he's been in the Dawah for a very long time, bro. A lot of people came into Islam because of him. A lot of work that he's done. A lot of people come out of zina and haram relationships, all that kind of stuff. He can relate to the youth in a way that none of us can. He can. Go to a secondary school in London, yeah, from the ages of year 7 to year, maybe even 11, 12. He can relate to these people in a way that we can't. And historically, I've seen that on the ground. I've seen that. So if that's the case, why don't you just leave him do his job? Why are you trying to do isqat of him? Try and do hadm of him, destroy him. Instead of doing that lambasting approach, why don't you train him? You're an academic. You seem to be much more informed on certain issues than he would be, for example. Why don't you come and say, look, Ali Dawah, I want to train you, I want to help you. Instead of going to a guy that's much more senior than you in Dawah, might not be in academics, but much more senior than you in Dawah, probably has better people skills than you, has the courage to show his face, unlike you. You're doing it behind the screen, and that's your debut in the Dawah. You can't really attack Muslims in the Dawah when we haven't even seen your face. You're majhul al-ayn, number one. Number two, you're not just majhul al-ayn, you haven't contributed much. With all respect, you have not contributed much. You can't just decide, I'm going to come into the Dawah and I'm going to start attacking figures. You don't do that. You come in, you show respect. You might not agree with what everyone is doing. You have a proper approach. This was bad, but he does good here. And that's how it is. It's your approach, guys, which is problematic. It's not necessarily the action. I don't have, this is a red herring and a straw man. I don't have a problem with you coming publicly and speaking about some issues that Ali Dawah has done. I haven't got a problem with that, or me or anyone. We have a problem in the way that you've done it. And that's why I didn't make a refutation video against the brother from the park, Shamsi, or Milahan, because both of those had some adhar, had some excuses. You can iltamis al-udhr. You can understand kind of where they're coming from. With you, it's, sorry to say, completely different. Now you can decide. I'm going to end with this video where I started before. You could decide, moving forward, to open up your WhatsApp, speak privately. I'm extending my hand. For the sake of the Dawah, for the sake of the people, we can start a relationship. There was a time, bro, where we were sending pictures of each other, just laughing, smiling, having a good time. There was a time. If you could do it once, you can do it again. I'm saying, for the sake of the people, for the sake of the youth, don't think about views, don't think about clout, don't think about your monetization of your institute, don't think about any of that stuff. Just think about the people. Think about the young man that just started practicing that, or a revert that just came into the deen. Think about that. Billah, think about that. Billah alaik, yeah? Think about that, and I'm giving you this offer. You can unblock me on WhatsApp. I'll respect you. You can respect me. We can start a working private relationship with each other. And we don't need to air up our dirty laundry. If we don't have a methodological or ideological issue, then why me? Why Ali? Why Mufti Menk? Why Norman Ali Khan? Why not him? The S-pub? Why don't you spend more time on the S-pubs? They spend more time refuting Muslims than anyone else. Why don't you attack people that you are in allegiance with, like Daniel Haqiqatju, on issues which we know that you completely differ with him on? If you're consistent, if you believe in refutation of Muslims, issues like khuruj or lack thereof, or maybe not khuruj bil silah, but we know you have a completely different view here. He's spoken out on politics and issues that you don't believe in. Why don't you speak about the same thing when it comes to use of philosophy? You attacked Ali Dawah that he said apus. Sorry, Daniel uses the word apus. Why don't you attack him as well? You are inconsistent. Everyone can see it. You don't be a hypocrite. I'm telling you, you can either decide to be hang from the coattails of other Muslims, feed your family with the algorithm of Muhammad Hijab and Ali Dawah and Noman Ali Khan, or you could decide that, you know what, I'm going to stop the zero-sum game approach of game theory and economics. I'm going to think win-win. I'm going to think maslaha. I'm going to think unification. I'm going to think do it for the Muslim people. I think that we should do that. I think we should move forward hand in hand, and I think we should do it. We should do it with respect and thinking about the Muslim people. But if you don't want to, I'll put my hand out, guys. You don't tell me, oh, why don't you do it privately? I'm saying it. Let's do it privately. If he says no, then who is the one? وَهُمْ بَدَأُونَ أَوَّلَ مَرَّةٍ. They're the ones who keep started. We're not going to make ourselves and the Dawah easy meat for people to come and attack. Sorry. That's the wrong approach. We tried that approach. Yasser Qadi and, Bilal Phillips and all this, they were just staying quiet whilst, I'm not trying to attack too much, sorry to say, but they were staying quiet whilst the S-pubs were running rampage. They were allowed, therefore, to grow their organizations. We've seen the history and it was not working. That approach doesn't work. This approach is much more successful. We have seen in real terms the S-pubs organizations and so on shrink, recruitment shrink, money shrink, charity money shrink, everything, followership shrinking, everything is much lower. Now they're begging literally in Ramadan because they can't even find the money, the funds that they used to be able to find before in maybe 5-10 years ago to build their masajid. We know what we're doing. We know what we're doing. So we don't believe in the approach. We looked at the historical data. We don't believe in the approach of making people find it a rewardable action to attack other Muslims in the Dawah, because that does not protect the sector and it does not protect the Muslims by extension. So I say that we can't reward this behavior. For those who follow Sajid, give him an ultimatum. If I were you, I'd give him an ultimatum. Either be respectful to this guy, be private, sort it out, or we're going to unfollow you and actually unsubscribe to him. If he continues making videos about people, when we've already said we can, then if I don't see his videos his subscriber base going down from 120, whatever it is, to 115 or 110, then I think you guys are the problem. I'm going to put it on you. You are the ones the Muslim people who follow him and subscribe to him. Wallahi, you are the problem, and you are the ones who are causing, by extension, the Dawah sector to weaken and the enemies of Islam to strengthen, because you encourage the behavior of Muslim on Muslim toxicity. Don't do it. So as I say to you now, I say, hands up, let's do it privately. Let's not air out the dirty laundry. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.